Welcome back, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in, and I appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, take a look through our back catalog of videos to see if there's anything that interests you. We got a bunch of technical stuff back there, some racing related. As you can see behind me, my race car is back in the shop. So if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. I know that I haven't really been on here for the last few weeks because I put up the video of our little vacation to NASCAR country. And then I kind of dropped off the face of the earth for a few weeks, but trust me, I've actually been working on videos. The problem is I've been getting bitten by them, so it hasn't really been working out very well. I've been working on my super secret project, and I was going to put a video out, but everything went wrong with that video. Just everything. And so I haven't been able to put it out yet. Nothing has happened. And so I'm just going to maybe help you out. If you are technically oriented, or if you work on your own race cars or your own cars in general, farm equipment, anything else, you name it, you're going to run into a situation where you need a tool, or you need a part, or you need something, and you don't have it. So you take it upon yourself, maybe, to make it. I've been in that situation a bunch where I've needed a tool, I've needed a part, I've needed something, and I said, you know what? I can't afford it, or I can't get it in time, but I sure can make it. And this situation is no different. I'm going to show you how I get around tough situations by just making it happen. To those of you who are unfamiliar and maybe new to the channel, you haven't seen the race car yet, this is my Sportsman. I race it at Thompson Speedway in Thompson, Connecticut. It's essentially a metric car, or a GM metric chassis car. It's stock suspension up front, stock suspension in the rear with your 4-link and stock shock mounts, stuff like that. Yeah, it does have a Ford 9-inch in it. It does have a 602 crate from GM, and it's got a 2-barrel Holley on it, and it's got some headers that are basically stock Monte Carlo, G chassis headers, basically. They're Schoenfeld 185, which everything here is by the rules. That's what you're allowed. So anybody with one of these cars and one of these stock style headers understands this pain. You can get all the spark plugs out on this side, and all you really need is your standard 5/8 inch, spark plug socket with the little wrench end on it. And you take your 3/4 inch wrench and you stick it on there and you get it out because it's too hard to get anything else in there like a socket wrench or anything. And you can do that to this side as well. However, you're never going to get that out. What is it, number 8? Yeah, you're not getting number 8 out because you try to put a regular spark plug socket on it, and nope. Let me switch hands. And let's see here. No, there is absolutely no way to get a normal spark plug wrench, or socket, on that. Now, you've got a couple options. You can essentially just take the manifold off, or header off. You can just take the bolts off and just move the header out of the way, and you can just throw a socket on there now because it fits. But that's a pain in the butt because you got gaskets and bolts and all sorts of stuff, and it's kind of a pain. You don't want to have to take that off. So what I'm going to do is show you different options that I've come up with to make your life easier. Now, I went down to my Tractor Supply, which, no free ads, and bought these tools. Obviously, this is some tool brand that doesn't pay me money, but they've got this little system here where it's like a multifaceted wrench. You got this open-ended wrench. We're not using that. It's got this other thing, and you'll see a couple different manufacturers have this, where you've got like a pass-through type socket you know, and you stick it in one of these things, and it essentially passes through everything. Pretty sure this is the right size. There goes my other option. Like that, and it'll fit like a socket right over top of your spark plug, and you can get it out that way, which I've already done before. But this was like 35 bucks for this kit. Now, you know what's not 35 bucks is the thing that I dropped on the floor. While I was there, I also purchased just a normal socket, 5/8 socket, right? And if I go in my spare tools bin, which is over there being hidden, I've got extra wrenches like this, just a regular open-ended, box-ended, whatever, standard wrench. And I'm going to show you for next to nothing, under $10, how to just make a tool that's a specialized tool to get that one out without having to take anything off. It'll save you time, it'll save you effort. Does it save you money? No, because you're spending $6 on a socket, a little bit of welding, cutting, and grinding, and a wrench that you found at a flea market for like 10 cents. To get that to be much more hassle-free without having to go out and buying special tools that cost you, 30, 40 bucks. So you might be asking me, well, why'd you buy the other wrenches and why are you going to make your own tools if you've already bought the stuff that works? Well, it works, but it's a little bit cumbersome, and I might have gouged my finger open on that nice serrated pipe wrench end that they have on it. So instead of hurting myself, and I know that I can make something that's just a little bit better because I can make it to what I want. And so, again, if you don't have it, you can make it. So I'll have more than one option. So in this little parts bin that I got here, I've got all sorts of different tools that I've collected that are surplus. I bought a car and I got all these gross screwdrivers and all sorts of stuff out of here. I got like different hose ends. I got like vice grips and stuff. Stuff that I don't typically use, like extra wrenches and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach in there and find a boxed in wrench that, I don't know, is surplus that I don't use. Like, I don't know, something like this. It's like an ancient Husky 1/2 inch. And I'm going to meld them together. I think I have my candidates lined up here. I got this 1/2 inch wrench that I found in the pile. Yeah, it's a gear wrench, but the gear is broken. But the outside is still good. And then I got this, which is what I purchased, a 5/8 whatever socket, and it's got 12 points. You're saying, well, 12 points not great for that. Why would you buy that? Well, because when you weld these two together, that becomes a wrench. And you can't position it because it doesn't ratchet or nothing. It's just a regular wrench. Now, it's going to be shortened up a bit so that it fits properly. All I need is the shank on it that basically, before it starts to get down towards that thicker end where the socket would plug in. And plus, it'll be enough to fit inside of the header area and have me be able to wrench it out. 12 points so that I can pick different points without getting kind of pigeonholed and stuck because it doesn't quite fit at a certain angle. So it gives me more options to get those out. Now, again, it's just a spark plug, so you shouldn't be manhandling them anyway, so a 12-point socket should work just fine because you definitely do not want to be he-manning on a spark plug. And if you do, you're just causing problems for yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this thing over to the vise. I'm going to hack it off right where you can see inside there, right where the shoulder starts. Basically, way down in here, right about back there. It's about, if I had to judge, probably where my thumb is. I'll probably hack it off there. Then I'm going to slide it on top of one of the spark plugs to see, or the spark plug that I want to take off to make sure, number one, it actually fits over it. Number two, I want it to make sure that it's deep enough that when I weld on this wrench, it will actually have enough space for me to be able to take the thing off. Because the main problem with, and I know I'm kind of wordy here, but the main problem with this type of thing is, yeah, it works, but the shoulder on it is a little short, so you got to kind of like pop the thing out of it a little bit, and then you don't have a lot of bite on it, and it's like, it's kind of iffy. And then it's actually kind of short, so it hits, there you go, you can see it. It hits the manifold bolts, or header bolts, whatever. So, also, I could have used a regular wrench, like a regular hand wrench, or a regular boxed end wrench, but you know they're angled on one side. Well, the way it would sit, it kind of pokes out too far. I kind of want it more straight up and down, and this gear wrench that's, to be fair, broken, offers me that straight edge without having to break out the torch and having to straighten it out. So let's get to work here. So I got my pieces all cut, and I've got this ground down so that I can weld to it. Now, what I want to do is obviously test fit it. You don't want to just make something and hope that it works. You got to at least test it first. So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to test the socket to make sure it slides on. Okay, it seems to slide on quite easily. Now I need to see, I might take and I might tack weld it to this just to see if it fits on both ways, but as of right now, this is perfect. Like, this is going to work great. My hand can get in there. So why don't we just do one more final fitment where we take this and put it together, tack weld it so it can't move, and then make sure it slides over the spark plug and in between the header runner. Now, I don't want to go and just smash the header with a hammer. That requires me taking the header out of the car in order to hit it. So why not just make a tool? Well, it survived falling off the back of the car, but I got her tacked on. Now let's see, just for kicks, if she fits. That's a no. See, this is why you always just tack things. Because I think what I got to do is I probably got to either grind the head of this wrench down so that it'll fit through, or I move the socket up further because it's not completely seated up against the top here, or I have to cut the socket down. Again, it's all trial and error, but if I just welded this thing straight to it, that would have been really bad because then I wouldn't be able to prototype it properly, and I'd be like, well, why'd I do that? Now I'm dumb. So let's see if I can even get it in there to fit at all now anyway. Apologies for the microphone here. No, absolutely not. And it looks like it wouldn't ever fit. So, all right, we're going to cut the tack off and try again. After a few different attempts, and it's still not quite straight, you can see there's a little gap in it, I cut it down another, I don't know, 1/4 inch or so. Now I'm test fitting. Oh yeah, that fit on. Oh, that's good. Yep. It fits right on now. Now all I got to do is I'm going to take a clamp, because when I tack welded it, it kind of pulled the other side up, so there's a little gap here. So I'll take a C-clamp and just clamp it back into place, and then I'm going to weld it up. And then we're going to test it. Here it is. if it'll focus. Let me move. A 1/2 inch broken wrench melded to a out of focus 5/8 12-point socket with rubber from my clamp melted into it because I forgot that when you weld things, they get hot. So let's take it over here and let's figure out if the thing actually works. This thing is extremely hot. Glad I have work gloves on. I hope this rubber that I melted into it isn't going to be too big a deal. Okay, now, first test, does it slip on easily? Oh yeah. Ow, it's really hot still. I'm so glad I'm wearing gloves. For up close, we'll show you that this thing actually does work. Now, if I can get in here properly, you can see, you just kind of, let me get some actual focus here. There we go. Slides right on, and it works. And you can see I got plenty of room here to reach in. You can see it actually, let me go one more tooth here. Look at it, loose, tight. There's plenty of room. Thing comes right off. And it works like a charm. I love it. I wonder if it works on all the rest of them. Oh, if it doesn't, who cares? I still have this. So for $6, a broken wrench, a little welding wire, a cutting wheel, and a little bit of elbow grease and time, I've made the perfect tool for the job. I wonder if I can take those back. Ah, whatever. I got the right tool for the job. Well, right tools for the job. That's all that matters. Maybe I'll just take those tools and stick them in the truck or something in case I need some extra wrenches when I'm out on the road or wherever. So you can see a magic wardrobe change happened because when I was filming the outro for this video, my microphone batteries died. So you get a lot of video of me talking and no noise coming out. So that was great to find. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. I really hope that this helps you out because if you're like me and you like working on stuff or tinkering or doing things yourself, be it at the home, on classic cars, on race cars, on boats, on farm equipment, on anything, again, if you work long enough, you're going to find yourself in a situation where you need to do something that you can't find just the right tool for. Again, with this, I made the right tool for the job because it fits perfectly for a very specific part. They make tools like these wrenches, like I said, that will work, but they're not quite perfect. Like I showed you, gouged my finger, doesn't quite fit, hits the bolts on the manifold or the header down here, doesn't work perfectly. So I made something that actually works perfect. So, again, it's a very specialized thing, but to me, it matters because it's going to save me time and effort in the long run. A few minutes here or there could mean a lot because if I'm at the racetrack and I run into some kind of problem where I got to change a spark plug because I fouled it or something went bad and I got to change it out quick, I don't have the time to go and run the bolts out of the manifold and pull the manifold off and then put something in there and then have to put the whole damn thing back together. And I'm going like this in a really tight quarters down here and I can't spend a lot of time doing that. So now I can do that because I ran into that problem last year in New Hampshire with my brother's car. Whole big long story. So anyway, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Again, sorry for the continuity problems, but I got to get the video done. So subscribe if you can. It really would help me to grow the channel because I really want to bring this thing up a little bit so that maybe someday it'll pay for racing, but I doubt it. But I'm having fun either way. I got racing coming up in another week. Another week when this drops, I'm going to be on the racetrack in this car and I'm going to be filming. So share it with your friends, subscribe. Thank you all again. I appreciate it. And I'll see you next time.